The Columbus Zoo is known for having a certain section that represents almost every portion of our planet, from the forests and mountains of Asia to the wonders of Australia and the islands, all the way to the beautiful plains and jungles of Africa, and even under the water surface, but this time located roughly halfway through the vast ecosystems of North America is the award-winning Polar Frontier. This $20 million Alaskan-themed loop sits on just 4.5 acres and opened for exploration in 2010. However, despite only exhibiting 3 separate species, it is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, including habitats that are some of the best, no, the greatest of their kind in any zoo. So, let's go. Somewhere throughout your North American journey, you'll stumble across an invitation to the Arctic, starting with what's known as the Yukon Fossil and Gem Company, where for a varied price, visitors can search for their very own replicated gems. Anyways, past this and multiple bear statues, as well as the Polar Grill, is where this loop begins. Although to save some suspense, we'll be starting out on the left side with the Ice Bear Outpost, one of the most unique and educational interpretive displays that I've had the pleasure of coming across. There's a gift shop, a replicated tundra environment, and my personal favorite, added in 2015, a projection of the Arctic ice sheets, allowing guests to walk above this frozen landscape. Now heading back outside into the harsh fall air and passing the Polar Playground is a slightly smaller but still adequate enclosure for the Arctic fox, a species well adapted to tundra environments due to their thick and recognizable fur coats during the winter months, and as can be seen here, their pelts will remain a pure white as a way to camouflage in the ice and snow. However, as seasons change, they will actually develop more of a grayish-black coat to blend in with rocks and plants in the summers. These changes help conceal them when hunting lemmings, rodents, birds, and even fish. On another note, you know I hate to do it, but backtracking back inside, you can actually get a peek into a somewhat replicated fox den. Moving on, just across from this is our first look at the zoo's third-of-an-acre grizzly habitat, starting off with a average-sized viewing shelter, again depicting a abandoned mining area with a 42,000-gallon freshwater pool for rescued grizzly brothers Brutus and Buckeye to hunt live fish like trout, carp, and sunfish. Not only this, but the shelter includes a look into the bears' heated den, where they can often be found escaping the harsh winter climates. Continuing on, furthermore, past a more open view, the habitat stretches to a second and usually the more popular viewing shelter labeled as Bears Everywhere, where you'll find, again, more educational displays, none of which more unique than the silhouetted cutouts of every known living species of bear, 8 to be exact, where you can see how they match up to one another and even to yourself. Brutus and Buckeye were originally rescued and brought to the Columbus Zoo in 2004 after their mother had reportedly charged a man walking his dog in his very own backyard, forcing him to fire back and shoot her in self-defense. After reaching the Department of Alaskan Fish and Game, who successfully trapped the two bears, they were finally brought to their forever home. Based on my estimates, I'd assume that they are both about 17 years old, which isn't exactly young for a grizzly, and I was later told by a keeper that apparently they both suffer from arthritis. Turning your body and your attention directly around is our final stop, the main event, the zoo's 35,000 square foot habitat for the polar bears, viewable obviously across from the grizzlies and through a 106-foot long set of glass panels. The exhibit is complete with rocks, natural substrate, and two pools, one saltwater and the other fresh. However, this isn't just it. Taking a slight detour and heading underground into a representation of a abandoned mining shaft which was closed, or so the zoo thought. Anyways, settled just 16 feet beneath the top viewing area is a completely underwater 27-foot long half tunnel, giving visitors a peek into 167,000 gallons of water, all supported by roughly a few inches of acrylic. The pool is occasionally stocked with live trout, and you'll never have to guess when they'll make the dive because of the live video cams placed along the walls. Here, in the polar frontier, not only can you get nose to toe with polar bears, but you can actually watch them gracefully swim and walk above your head. The Columbus Zoo is currently home to two polar bear sisters, Aurora and Anana. However, only a few months ago, the zoo also displayed another bear, born on Thanksgiving Day in 2019 to Mother Aurora and first-time father Lee. The zoo welcomed a single male cub, who thanks to roughly 42,000 voters, was accordingly named Kulu, referring to the Inuit term for endearment. His move to the Como Zoo in Minnesota was recommended by the AZA, which isn't exactly unnatural given at his age he would normally leave his mother and begin a solitary life. The move will allow the zoo to potentially acquire another male bear to continue their successful breeding program that will help grow the polar bear numbers in captivity. In spite of this, this isn't necessarily goodbye, as someday, in the future, we might run into him again on these virtual zoo tours. The polar frontier opened to continue the zoo's mission of connecting people and animals through wild experiences. And as you would guess, just a year after its opening, it was awarded with the AZA's Top Honor Exhibit Award. Hopefully, next time we're back at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, all we'll have to do is slightly turn to our left to experience a whole other world. Thank you for watching.